Alright, welcome to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the full MHD of the Stage 1, Stage 1 Plus, Stage 2 and Stage 2 Plus, and I'm going to be showing you the results on the sports displays. Now, this isn't very accurate because this actual diagram is nowhere near as accurate as a dyno, so we're going to be taking it with a pinch of salt. I know everyone in the comments is going to say about how inaccurate these are, but what we're going to be doing is showing the difference from the stock power all the way up to a Stage 2 Plus map, which my car has the capabilities of running that with the supporting mods that it has. So I know these aren't 100% accurate, but we're going to be giving it a bit of an entertainment purpose and giving it a go. So let's get straight into the video. But these are the stages we're going to be going through. We're going to do the stock power, and then we're going to go to Stage 1, Stage 2, and then Stage 2 Plus. And I'm going to do my very best of trying to film the actual dial gauge and seeing which one gives the most increases, for example, and which ones don't. So now that the car's done, I'll film the outside instead of filming my phone now. Okay, so currently, as you can see, these are not the stock dials that will come on your 235. These have actually been upped. The displays have gone higher because I've decided to tick that box in MHD. You can decide to untick that and leave them completely standard while running an upgraded map, for example, but I decided to up them so that I can see where the horsepower goes. So for example, this car is now about 420 brake, so we should be seeing it go, let's call that 400 there. It should be going at least around that kind of area. Now obviously we're going to take it with a pinch of salt. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to map the car back to completely stock, so factory form, and then it should only be about, well, it shouldn't even be about 360 brake because this car standard is 332, I'm pretty sure, 323, something like that. So I'll map back to stock and then I'll resume the video when these dials have gone back to the stock form. I'm now in the MHD app, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to flash a MHD map, the top option, and going to let it connect to the car. The ignition is on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do Stage 0. Now what that does, it remains MHD installed, that is still on the car, but it's just going to run it completely back to stock. And the reason I'm doing this one is because if I opt to remove MHD completely, that's a long right map where it's ideally recommended to have a battery charger on the car, and obviously I don't have that for today's test video, so I'm just going to be mapping it back to stock with this one. So we'll just go onto here now. It'll just take a second and I'm just going to map right it, and it should, once the car is all finished doing what it needs to do, the dials should have gone back to the factory finish of what they will show when the car came out of the factory. So we'll just give that a second. I'll time lapse this little bit and I'll be back once this bit is done. Okay, so as you can see, now this has gone back to completely stock. So this is going to show 400 here, which obviously it isn't going to ever reach that on the stock form. And then the torque's gone back to the same. So as you can see now, it's showing 300 there. So realistically, we should be about where this line is here. If I zoom in, should be along this kind of line if we can. That should be the factory stock power. So what I'll do now is I'll be doing these pulls in third gear and then just filming what it comes up on the dash. So we'll start the car and we'll run the stock tune and then we'll move on to the Stage 1. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, that's what it's on by now. So we'll just open the car up a little bit and see what we reach. That is maximum for the Stage 1. Okay, so as you guys saw, the stock tune, which the car comes with from the factory, was about 320 odd brake, 330. So that's what it's on there. So now what we're going to do now is go back into MHD and we're going to map the Stage 1, and then we'll see the improvements of what that comes up with. I will leave the gauge unticked for now, but we will have to tick it back on to up its power, for example, when the Stage 2 goes on, because it'll go past 400. So we'll run the Stage 1 now and we'll see if there's an increase on these dials compared to what the Stage 0 was. Okay, so back in MHD now, going to select 95 octane fuel. That's what we're running right now. It's actually Tesco Momentum, which is 99 octane, so we're well above the target. So we'll go in here and I'm just going to go onto the actual settings of it, and I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't increase the iDrive system. So if I untick that there, it will keep the iDrive figures the same, and then we'll be able to see the actual improvement, and then we'll map right it so it's just going to do its thing again. I'll fast forward this a little bit and then be back once it has finished. Okay, so as you can see, this is all finished now. The map right was actually 18 seconds, so I'm going to let the car do its thing for 30 seconds, and then we'll start it back up, and then we'll do the same run again and see what that brings. Back in the car again. This is now the stage 1 map. This also requires no actual bolt-on modifications. You can do this on a completely stock car. But as you can see, the dial is still on 400, so we should realistically be a lot higher than what it was on the first one. So just to recap, on the stage 0, which is factory form, it was about here where it topped out. So we should be at least around this kind of area, but we'll give it a run and see what happens. So let's do that now. It is kind of crazy just how more like responsive the car feels just within this like a stage 1 tune. I sometimes even run like back to stock on this when I do long drives, just to like realize how quick the stock car is. Even without a tune, these cars are absolutely rapid. But we'll give her a little open up and we'll be able to see on the dials now what she actually opens up to. So this is a 3rd gear. We're going about 30 mile an hour, so let's see. And there you go. As you can see from that footage, we were well past, I'd say, 350 brake there. So a massive improvement. Bear in mind, it is 0 degrees outside today, and my intake temperatures with my larger intercooler are like around 4 degrees Celsius, which is the lowest it's ever been. So bear in mind, this isn't like a complete fear test, because running a stage 1 is going to give you a different result, because my car has bolt-on modifications compared to one that wouldn't if you have no bolt-on modifications. But there we go, that was the stage 1. So now let's hop into the stage 2. We'll hop into MHD, map that on, and then we'll be able to see what that pulls. Bear in mind, I will change the iDrive gauges because it was almost going over 400 then. So we'll obviously have to change the gauges to go higher when we run the stage 2 to see how far over 400 brake it is. But yeah, just a bit of a fun video. If you guys are enjoying it so far, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And let's get straight into MHD. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to do the stage 2 map, and we're just going to select obviously the higher fuel. We're going to go into this, and then we're just going to map right it again. But before we do that, I'm just going to make sure that the iDrive gauges actually get increased, because I want to be able to see how far over the 400 brake mark we are. So we'll just map right this now. I'll fast forward it and be back once this has completed. There we go, guys. So that is now finished. So I'll give the car 30 seconds like it's telling me to, and then we'll do a pull with the actual stage 2 map and see what that brings. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm not 100% sure why. I'm sure I ticked this to go up, but it hasn't changed. I don't know if the torque has actually gone up at all. I didn't actually realise what that was on before starting the video, but that is still on 400 brake. So we're still going to do the test, because I don't want to actually ride the car too many times this evening, because I haven't really driven it very far and I'm mapping it a lot, and I don't want the battery to go flat. So we're just going to do a pull again, and then obviously it will just be reaching the 400 brake mark. It's got to now. The stage 1 didn't really get there, so we'll see what this one does. Alright, so I just did some research, and apparently with the stage 2 tune, correct me if I'm wrong, the torque goes up but the horsepower stays the same. It's only with the stage 2 plus tune that the horsepower goes up further again. So realistically, like I said, this should be on the 400 horsepower dot. It should be on the max dial now. So we'll give it a go, but correct me if I'm wrong with that, or let me know in the comments. All of these tests as well are in sport mode, by the way, just letting you guys know. But we'll do a pull now. We'll reach into 3rd and see what this one brings. Alright, there you go, guys. That was that result. As you can see, well and truly into the 400 brake mark. It was maxed out on the dial. So we'll go into MHD now and do the stage 2 plus tune, which should upgrade the power output of the horsepower one and make it a lot higher. So let's give it a go. Okay, so we are in MHD now, and we're going to kick on the stage 2 plus one now. Same fuel we're running, and I'm just going to make sure that that dial is definitely increased, which it is. So now that we're doing that, we can now map right this. In fact, what I'm going to do, because I don't want to map the car after this one, I'm going to go back to my multi-map, which is still stage 2 plus, and I'm still 100% certain that it does keep the same gauges on, which it does, only because I don't want to map back into this one again and flatten my battery. So we're going to go for this one now. Everything is the same and we're still running the Stage 2 Plus, apart from it being a multi-map. So I'll fast forward this little bit and then I'll be back once it's done. Alright, there we go guys, that is done. So same thing again, gonna give the car 30 seconds to let itself restart, and then I will show you if the iDrive gauges have updated, which they should have done. So let's give that a go. Alright, there we go. The iDrive system has actually updated. So I don't know why on the Stage 2 the power stays the same. However, the torque increases and it increases again on the Stage 2 Plus, whereas this only increases on the Stage 2 Plus. I'm not too sure about that, so let me know in the comments why that would be. But we'll start the car up now and we'll do another pull, and then we'll try and see where this ends up on the Stage 2 Plus tune. Alright, here we go guys, Stage 2 Plus 1. Alright, there we go guys. So it's very difficult to see where that was on the dial. From what I can see from the video back, it's kind of around this mark here. But obviously because we don't know how many like units these actual individual pieces are, it's very hard to tell. So I'm gonna say it's definitely over 400 brake. The fact it was on 400 on the maximum, with it being on the Stage 2 map, Stage 2 Plus has got to make some sort of improvement. However, I have been on the dyno with this car, and on the Stage 2 tune without an intercooler, it made 398 horsepower. So I'd be very interested to see what this would bring now with the 5-inch intercooler on the front, as well as a load of other bolt-on modifications and the Stage 2 Plus tune, what that would bring horsepower wise. This was just a fun entertainment video. Don't take it too seriously, because obviously everyone knows these gauges aren't 100% accurate, and come the summertime, or even maybe during the winter, because we'll have colder air temperatures, I would like to get this car on the dyno and see what it makes again as a rerun. But apart from that, if you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, leave any comments down below of your opinions, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.